their prices. They're growing their business by raising their prices so they make more money. Not real. Because at some point that stops. At some points. So yesterday, went to Bob's Steak and Chop House. Really good place. Used to go there a lot. And there's wall-to-wall people all the time. You can't get in there. Okay? Can't get in there. So a few days before that, I had gone to Ruth Chris. And Ruth Chris has raised their bone-in ribeye $60 to $75. And I told you, the places are empty. These places are empty. They haven't figured out the basics. It's better to charge $60 for your steak and let somebody come in there and buy a $200 bottle of wine or $300 that you're marking up 80% than charging ridiculous prices for steaks, because people just get pissed off. They get pissed off. Okay? So I put that video out there from Bob's. We're the only one in the whole place. Think about that. Think about that. 40 minutes in to after they opened. There's nobody there. Not one person. They raised their bone-in from $60 to $89. Almost doubled the price of their steak. Now, it's not about money. It's about people like, oh, I'm going to take my wife and kids there and a couple friends, and all of a sudden, 8 steaks at $30 more. Why do I want to do this? And then you add on all the other stuff that they've raised their prices on. This is not a service thing. They had people standing around left and right. This is what's happening. If you go to Tom Thumb, one of the better places here, Tom Thumb, or you can go get a bone-in ribeye, high-end bone-in ribeye, even at Central Market, for $20, $22, $23. Back to where it was 6 months ago. They're back to where they were. But the restaurants have raised their prices like crazy. And they're all going to miss. They're all going to miss. Nobody's there. Nobody's there. Completely empty. I mean, you can't even make this stuff up. But they've all done this. And where are they going? They're going to McDonald's. McDonald's beat. They're like, oh, I can go to McDonald's and get out of there for, I don't know, $7, $8. This is where the world is coming to. Restoration Hardware. The CEO told you nobody is buying. He warned a second time. Nobody is buying. But he has a buyback. And the stock goes up $60 after saying nobody is buying. Fantastic. I mean, unbelievable. This is really, this stuff that's happening is unbelievable. Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, Microsoft Cloud. Now, clouds, in the last 5 years, they've never missed. They've never missed. If either Microsoft or Google Cloud misses today, all the cloud stocks will completely implode. I mean, I'm telling you, now down 50, Snow down 30. They will all collapse. Now, maybe they don't miss, and they continue to go up. That's okay. Either way, I'm just telling you. Walmart. Lulu. Watch Lulu. Lulu next. Lulu next. Up way, way too much. Meta. Complete collapses. Guy comes on TV with Kramer and talks about the metaverse and what they're going to do over the next 5 years. And Kramer never asks him the simple things, the two simple questions. Okay? Now, I understand why people don't ask these questions. Because if Kramer asks him point blank, he says, will the metaverse replace your Facebook income this year? He's going to say, you made me answer this question. I'm never coming on and talk to you again. Okay, I understand that. So he didn't ask that question. And then he asked, oh, is Instagram doing better? Yeah, Instagram's better. Do you know Instagram has to 5x its business, not 1x, 5x its business? 5x. 5x to even get close to what Facebook was making in revenue. 5x. So let's say Instagram is doing better and it's doubled. That means Facebook's still 3x away from being good. Now, that doesn't mean the stock doesn't go up. It just means it doesn't go up again all the way to 200, 250, 300. Right? It's called hopium. Hopium. And this happened in 2001 with Sam. Sam would say, and I told you the Broadcom story. Sam would say, Broadcom went from 370, it's at 100. It has to go up. Doesn't have to go up. It went to shit. It went to $8. $8 from 370. It doesn't have to go up. Doesn't mean it doesn't get better. Maybe it goes up 5 points or 10 points. Maybe Walmart goes up 10 points in the next 2 weeks, and everybody says bottom. Doesn't mean it rips. Go look at Costco. I've been watching Costco. It just goes up and goes up and goes up. The thing nonstop went up. People are like, oh my God, everybody doing it Costco. Let me tell you something on Costco revenue. Here's something for you. They discounted Apple. So let's say they discounted Apple, and through all their stores, they sell 500,000 Apple products at $1,000 a piece. Whatever they are. Say they're $1,000. Look at the revenue they made, more. Are they going to be able to duplicate that the quarter after? Not a chance. Not a chance. Interesting. Now, I don't know what's going to happen tonight or what's going to happen tomorrow, but I know you have to be in it both ways. Now, there's a scenario there on Powell that's very difficult. There's a non-win scenario for Powell. There's a no-win. And now he screwed up the last one. Remember he screwed up the last one? They said, could you do a 75 hike? And he said no. And the market went up 70 handles. This was the day you could have made, I was thinking about this. If you put in $1 million, you'd have made $121 million. $121 million. It went 121x. Okay? A dollar went to 121. Okay? Because they took the market up when he answered the question, 70 points. And the next morning they reversed it. They broke down. He gave back the 70 and he did another 140 down. And the reason you could have made that 121 million is because you didn't even have to sell it. They auto-exercised. See, because if you're trying to sell it, it's hard, right? If you buy that many options. I'm just telling you. So this one you didn't have to sell. That's why it was so unbelievable. So he took that 75 off the table, then he went on to do the 75, right? A month later, 2 months later, whatever. So now let's go to this scenario. And I don't know what happens. Here's the scenario. The scenario is somebody's going to ask him, there's no hike, there's no meeting next month. Usually there's a meeting every month. So they could hike again next month. So now, is there going to be a hike next month? I don't know, right? So they're going to ask him, they're going to say, hey, could there be a mid-meeting hike? And if he says no, the market's going to say, oh my God, this is great. There's no mid-hike next month, right? Wow. So they're going to be happy. They're going to take it up. And then he's going to walk it back the next day and say, why would I do that? I mean, the only answer he should say is anything is possible, right? And if he says anything is possible, right, then immediately the market dives huge, huge. Wow, isn't that interesting? Right? Very interesting. Interesting, interesting, interesting. So that's the issue he has. That's the issue he has tomorrow. And I don't know how he addresses that issue. But the way he gets around it, if he were to get around it, he'd say, anything is possible in this world. That's what he should say. But if he says, yeah, we could do an emergency meeting, boom, right down. But if he says we're not going to do one, then it's like the 75. Nobody's going to believe him anyway. So that scenario is coming up, okay? So keep an eye on that, keep an eye on that, keep an eye on that. That's what we know, that's what we know, that's what we know. Okay? Comments, questions, if anybody has comments, questions, if you have anything to say, let us know. You have GDP Thursday, and then you have the PCE inflator on Friday. You had lots of news, okay? Interesting. Amazon to raise Prime membership in Europe. Did they raise it before? I don't know. Interesting. So that's what we know. Okay. If anybody else raise their hand, or let me see, or we'll get started. Okay, give me a second here. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Let's get started. Okay. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. 7:26. Stocks go up. Stocks go down. Do not buy too many. On any particular day, anything you can buy can go to zero in 5 minutes, and then you'll bitch and moan. Just telling you the fact. Don't overplay your hand. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. I tell you this 500 times, and people keep buying too much shit. Don't do that. Play both ways right now. That's the market you have. It's the market you have. Then we see. Okay? SPX down, 15? Put it here. You're right at 39.50-ish. You got 39.48, 39.31, 3,900. Upside 4,000, 4,009. Then we see. NVIDIA can't seem to go up, can't seem to go down, but all the chips, the chip cycle is not a 3-month cycle. It's a 12 to 18-month cycle. It doesn't get better the next day. 172, 179, if the chip thing passes, will be a short blip. Up. 161, 158 downside. ASML finally starting to open lower again. 491 down, 551 up. Lam Research. 2 huge downgrades yesterday, 431 down, 400, 472 up. Avago. Can't seem to break up either way. They do a lot of work for Huawei. Just know that. They sell a lot to them. Apple. If Apple guides lower, where does this go? 144, 138. Pan W, in no man's land. Can't go up 20, can't go down 20, does nothing. Humana, HUM, put it on your screen. UNH did great. Humana going to report this week. Does it pop 500, 521? Underneath 462. And that takes UNH. Does it go through 541? Or does it go lower? 509. MDB. Just sitting there, another one that trades at 100 PE. You got 251, 232, and 313 on the upside. Meta, 162, 151, 182 if it pops. Google, does it hit 700 or 100 and then 92? Very possible. Upside, 121. Snowman, 151, 156, 162 breakout, 121 breakdown. NOW, 409, 409 down, 491 up, 381 if it completely collapses. Walmart, 119, 116. Costco. If Costco pops to 520 right off the bat, well, look at the 510s. Very interesting, because the last time this happened, it opened down 30, ended up down 60. It's a different market because 3M went up. Target, 145. Tesla gave back. If this got to 841, it's down 50. Every Monday, it hits a high. Every Monday. Go look. Every Monday, it hits a high and goes lower. Coin, SEC investigation. This thing should be at 50. Doesn't mean it is. Should be at 50. MicroStrategy continues to work lower. I actually like the 300 for next week at $3. Don't overpay. Just wait. Interesting. And that's what we got. Okay, good scenarios. SPX a long-term resistance. Resistance doesn't matter, guys. There's no such thing as this is resistance or this. It's about news. Let's say we rip higher today and it closes at 40.20. You're through all resistance. And then Powell comes out and says, I'm going to do a point this month and we're going to hold a special meeting next month and we're going to do a point next month. SPX is at 3,600. News trumps everything. Everybody have a great trading day.